Have you had it from somebody born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana, at a tailgate? Doubt it.
I said Michael Pratt has got to show up and play, and boy did he. 394 yards, 4 touchdowns, 48 rushing yards on the ground, and another touchdown.
Projected getting drafted between the first and third round, that's incredible. The wide receivers are absolutely stacked for the group of 5.
Yeah, I really appreciate you do for the group of 5 programs, and I think it's great. I think we should get more of this, but you guys are on the forefront of this. And
so I'm thankful for this. I'm glad that you're talking about the group of 5 because I think they get overlooked.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Game day Saturday. Live from Statesboro, Georgia. Group of 5 live. Guys, if you don't know who we are the Group of 5 guys, and our mission is to bring pride and excitement to these Group of 5 football programs. We're fired up to be here. There's a special place in my heart and all of our hearts for Statesboro, Georgia. We'll get a lot more of that going. But, guys, we have a lineup of the Georgia Southern coaching staff waiting to come on and join the Group of 5 guys. I'm not entirely sure who we're going with first.
We're going with the big dog up first.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're going with the defensive coordinator first.
And offense, right?
Yeah.
And offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Come on and join us. Put the headphones on. Cleveland Browns. Defensive coordinator, Coach Bailey, Georgia Southern. Welcome to the Group of 5 guys. First of all, great to meet you.
Yeah, great to meet you guys. Thanks for having me.
Second of all, Cleveland Browns jersey. What's the deal here?
So I don't know if we're on video. If you see the back. This is Coach Eubanks. This is our linebackers coach, man, and just a phenomenal player. When I grew up as a fan here, shoot, I watched Coach Eubanks as a fan here, and now to be able to bring him here on staff and be a part of what we're doing, just so much respect for him, and our kids like it too.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm a fan of his, man. That dude's a stud.
So is that something you're telling the kids? Like sometimes you're a coach, the kids think, well, you didn't do it or you weren't. But you're like, look, buddy.
Yeah, that guy did it for 8 years at the highest level you can do it. If there's anybody they need to listen to, it's that cat, man. We got good coaches, man. I love our entire staff, but anytime I get a chance to, represent one of them too, it's just awesome. It's a cool thing.
100%. Well, I know it's spring. I know, most programs, a lot of vanilla. But what can we see scheme-wise today and just going into the fall?
Shoot, man, you're going to see who we are. You guys are broadcasting this thing, but we're looking at this as a day to get better. We're going to do our stuff. We're going to run our stuff and try to do it real good. And, shoot, man, we're competitive. Coach App, you'll talk to him in a minute. That's a competitive dude. I'm a competitive dude. They're keeping score today. Somebody's got to win, so we're trying to do it. You know what I mean?
Now, is there any type of reward for the winning team? Maybe a VIP at the concert tonight? Or
if there is, I hadn't been told. But just the reward for winning is good enough, man. I hate to lose way more than I like to win. So just the taste of victory will be good enough.
Coach, real quick, how great is it of a feeling to have so much experience coming back this year? I just noticed how many players from last year's roster are coming back for this season. That's got to be huge with just the way college football is right now.
There's no doubt, man. We're coaching different things. Last year at this time, good gracious, we were trying to get 11 folks on the field. Now we were able to get a lot more specific, and the kids have spent a year in the system, and they've all played a lot of college football. So it's been a blessing for sure.
Coach, from a philosophy standpoint, I mean, what is your overall philosophy? Do you want to just put a ton of pressure on the quarterback, or what?
Yeah, you want to identify what an opponent does and try to make them left-handed, try to make them do stuff they don't want to do. But overall, philosophy-wise, man, we want to keep the ball inside and in front of us, not give up explosive plays. We want to create takeaways, and we want to be a lead on third down. We feel like if we do those things in conjunction with our offense, as explosive as they are, we're going to have a chance to win every game we play.
Last thing, and I'll let you go. We're looking at some of these recruits coming in. I don't know what position any of them play, but every time we go to campus, what I do, probably what y'all do in recruiting, is you check the calves and you check the glutes.
Shoot, yeah, man.
Hey, you got some guys that passed the test out here today.
There ain't no doubt. Look at this place, man. We're selling an unbelievable product.
Yep.
With our head coach and our administration here, when they come to a place like this on a day like today, this type of weather, who wouldn't want to be in Statesboro, Georgia? So, and that's the reason those recruits look the way they do, and that some of those cats will be Eagles real soon.
Look at that guy.
Ain't no
Unbelievable.
doubt.
I mean,
No doubt. I'm with you.
there's got to be something down the water.
Something's in the water. I've been telling these guys for 3 years, Statesboro will change your life, and they
South,
finally came,
I'm
and here
telling
we
you,
are.
man, the South has got. I promise you ain't got to convince me. I married a girl from down here. The football's better down here. This is the best place in the world.
That's it. Well, Coach Bailey,
Thanks so much,
Thank you,
guys.
man.
Thank y'all for being here.
yes, sir. Thank you. So now, guys, we got to go to the other side of the ball. Offensive coordinator.
This is the most important side of the ball.
Well,
let's just
I have something.
Ryan Appan, yeah, good to meet you.
Coach, how are
Ryan
you?
Appan, good to meet you.
First things first, we've got to worry about the elephant in the room. Are you
we
ready to
going back?
apologize
Yeah, please.
for what you did to Middle Tennessee State
Please.
in the Sun Belt Championship?
Kilgore call y'all.
You kicked our ass. I talked to him last night.
What did he say?
He's like, hey, I see you're down at Georgia Southern. I was like, dude, you could send a message to Ryan. We want to get him on tomorrow. It's like we got to get on to him.
Great man.
You know,
He's the
we were about 60 minutes away from playing in a freaking Liberty Bowl Power Bowl game, and then you came around and beat us by like 40 points. Hey, man, it happens.
Yeah, we had a great squad. Had a lot of guys coming back, and honestly, we kind of hit stride. You know, so it was I kind of joke about it sometimes with Kilgore. My man, it's like a Disney movie. You got to be a part of. Man.
Well, Coach, let's talk about Georgia Southern. You know, obviously getting the title OC this year. You know, what can we look for differently this year?
Yeah, a lot of excitement. I think, you know, we've got a little bit more depth. We're young. We got a lot of high school kids that this spring has been great to kind of see where those guys are at and kind of what they can do for us moving forward. And I've been really pleased. You know, I think the guys are competing. I think the one thing you talk to all of our coaches is we got great kids.
Yeah.
They eat, sleep, and breathe football. It's a little bit of an old school mentality. You know, I think the one thing for us is you got to be tough. So we want to display a disciplined group. We want to be extremely tough. We want to play as a unit, great energy. And I think a lot of it right now is going to be, you know, one, obviously we got a really big quarterback battle right now.
Yeah.
And so kind of see how that plays out. But the big thing will be, you know, really adjusting to those guys' strengths.
Yeah.
You know, what are they great at? And then that's what we're going to try and put our guys in the best situation possible to be successful.
Well, that's what we were talking about, you know, before the show. It's not always the, you know, quote unquote most talented guy. It's who fits with the rest of the roster, and then how can you adjust? And it's a good problem that you've got at least 3 capable guys on the roster.
Right.
How is it, you know, the last couple of years here, you've kind of had to rely on, let's go to the portal, let's get a guy for a year, and just to kind of build the offense. But, you know, how happy, I guess, are you to be able to, let's develop a guy finally?
No, it's been exciting. You know, I think that's one thing Coach has really pushed with his vision is signing high school kids. I think we've signed 61 high school kids in 3 years, which is a pretty big number in today's world. And we've had a lot of success with our high school kids, but it's been awesome. You know, I think anytime you're in a quarterback battle, if you've been in one of those, it can get a little bit awkward and guys trying to fight for spots, but these kids have been awesome. They communicate, they talk, they give each other self-experiences while they're out on the field. And I think anytime you have that good camaraderie, it makes the competition a little bit better because that can always be a little bit awkward.
Well, Coach, in this offense with Coach Helton, I mean, you guys have thrown it all over the field, wherever he's been, coming from a triple option setting. Are you kind of keeping that same philosophy? I mean, I know it's tough if you completely change everything.
Right.
So what's kind of your philosophy on offense?
Yeah, I think we're going to keep, you know, right now is a lot of it. I think we've had a lot of success doing it. I think the one thing that happens around college football right now is there's always change. And you see those teams that are having success, it's the people that they've got some stability, you know. And so to come in and just change things up, I don't think that's, one, fair to the kids, and 2, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think what we do here is special. I think is really unique. If I'm a skill guy in the country, there's no better offense to play in. I mean,
no doubt.
We're putting the ball down the air. We are running the rock too, and we're giving our backs really good options with the box. You know, you're not running versus an 8-man box anymore because of what we do in the passing game, and so you're keeping guys healthy, and they got to be able to play out of the backfield, which is what people do at the next level. So I think it's a really exciting brand of football. It's the most depth, like I said, that we've had, which is an exciting time for us because I'm getting some young guys out there, but now we can keep guys fresh. You know, we can sub in groups, and I don't have to have a guy go out there and play 70 plays and expect him in a 2-minute drive to be fresh.
100%. Well, forgot where I was gonna go.
We love you, Coach Kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here thinking about. I'm like, you know what, man, that was a tough time. We had high hopes, and then we got shafted. We didn't even get to go to the
I
bowl
know
game
that was a
year.
bad deal. He was pretty upset about that. So.
Yeah,
that was rough.
we appreciate y'all being
No,
here. This is a big
100%.
time for
Appreciate
us.
you, Ryan. And
So,
Thank you.
look
I'm a
forward
group
to
of 5
watching this.
guy.
Hey, ain't no doubt.
You gotta
We're
try.
gonna-
You gotta
gotta
stay
stay
with
together.
us, man. You gotta
We
stay
gotta
with us.
get you some merch. Rocking
Yeah,
some
I
merch.
need some merch.
We'll
We'll get you some
some.
merch. We'll
We'll get
check
you
in
some.
with you as we get closer to the fall, or maybe in the fall.
Yeah.
Get, an update, see where we're at.
Yeah,
but
we'd love to have you on our Tuesday show.
looking
That
forward
would
to
be
these
awesome.
to see these QBs go at it a
Yeah.
little bit today.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah.
We're
Put
gonna
up a
have,
lot of offense
we're
today,
gonna
right?
have some. Where's Coach Bailey? Is he out here? No,
He
he's going.
left.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today.
There we go.
We're
There
gonna
we
have
go.
some fun today.
Love
So
it.
appreciate
Coach,
y'all.
thank you,
Thank
man.
y'all very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Yes, sir. Good to see y'all.
Well, without further ado,
Good Lord.
without further ado,
I mean,
What's happening,
dude.
guys?
Turner West,
Long time no see.
brother.
Yeah.
Let's fix your earphones here.
For those of you that don't know, so
That's
this
it.
is
That's the
part
whole
of
thing.
this is Turner is part of the story of the beginning of
He
Group of
is.
5 guys a little bit, because circa 2013 spring, about this time,
That's right.
I'm in there trying to make my way as a second string guard. Okay, and our tight end gets beat inside on a power play. My left knee collapses on the field.
Tragedy.
Well, and Turner, you never let a tragedy go to waste. So Turner's like, dude, Sprouse, you're hurt now. You'll never play again. Come help me. Come help me. I'll teach you how to coach ball. Come help me. Look at Beck right there. He said, come help me break down film and get game plans ready. So next thing you know, I'm basically an unpaid intern for Turner West.
That's great.
But during that year is when I got to see a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff. I did learn, quite a bit about, the administrative part. We've got the national anthem going right now. I feel like we should do the right thing here.
God bless America.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Play ball.
Great rendition right there.
So
by
yeah,
the
that was
band.
was
great.
kind of what got me started and fascinated with this. But Turner, you've been around a lot of places. Dallas Cowboys for a while, obviously with us at Middle. You played at Memphis. You're here at Georgia Southern. You were at Citadel. Tell, I guess, these recruits and the fans, what does a guy that plays at Georgia Southern got to do to be able to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, so really anywhere you're at, special teams is a huge part of the draft process, and being with Coach Bisaccia and learning from those guys in the draft process, what is your special teams value? All right, you may be great on offense, you may be great on defense, but they have really, really minimalistic rosters up there. How can you add value to the team? All right, and special teams has been the way. We got Najee Thompson here on the sideline, who had probably twice as many plays on special teams in his career than he did on offense and defense. He played both, and now he's on the Minnesota Vikings. Going into his second year, had a huge year last year, and really special teams is the play.
Here in a second, we're going to get Coach Helton on, and then we can bring Turner back on.
Oh, well,
He's got
I
to
mean,
Hey, priority rules right there. If y'all need to get me later, afterwards, I'll be happy to do
well, if
that.
nothing else, Turner, we'll see you tonight. Cole
Ain't no doubt,
Swindell, brother.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Group of 5 guys. Keep it rocking.
Love you, man.
Turner.
Love you guys.
Yeah,
Well-
we got Coach Helton coming on here in a minute, but I mean, so far, we say this every time we go somewhere. I'm bought in. So
Yeah, I'm bought in 100%. And
we've only heard the coordinators. Now we got the head man.
Now we got the head coach coming on. Clay Helton, year 3 now at Georgia Southern, coming all the way from Los Angeles. First of all, my question is for you and the family. I know you're from the South originally, but you go from L.A. to Statesboro. I'd much rather be here,
Ain't no
but
doubt.
I'm sure you would too.
Well, I tell you what, I grew up, I was born in Gainesville, Florida, and most of my coaching career has been in the Southeast, and got the opportunity to go out to USC, which was an amazing experience, great people, but my family, my home is in the Southeast, and it's been just such a great experience for me personally. My dad and mom are here today. I've seen them more in the last 2 years than I saw all 12 years out west. So, as special experience as USC was, sometimes God closes one door, he opens up an even better door for you personally, and that's what this has been. I'm having the time of my life in Statesboro.
Love it. Well, we got to talk to your dad a little bit this morning. And then what is it like? Your brother's at Western Kentucky, family of coaches. How competitive is it? What's Thanksgiving dinner look like? What's that all about?
Well, with Dad, we know we get overcoached a lot.
He was coaching you up, talking to us.
I know. You talk about a guy that's coached 50 years of NFL and college football. So you listen. One, out of respect, he's your dad, but two, he's got more knowledge than me and Tyson, my brother, put together. So we listen to him much, and then brother and I love to compete, whether it's recruiting, whether it's against each other, all out of love. But we love the game, and it's part of our family.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, how's spring ball gone so far? Obviously, we're at the spring game here today. What are you looking to see, and just how's it gone overall?
Yeah, this is really neat because we get a real live game experience in front of fans. So all of a sudden you get that performance anxiety that you only get a couple opportunities to do. And here's one of them. We've got about 25 to 30 new guys on the team. This is their first experience in Paulson with fans in it. So it's a great learning lesson for them, as well as, you talk about spring. It's great because you don't have to game plan. It's the furthest growth you're ever going to have as a player because you're not worried about an opponent. You're worried about fundamentals, technique, your own system, and you're progressing. And we've progressed a lot as a team, and these guys have progressed a lot also.
Well, Coach, we can't thank you enough. We had the little tech hiccup there for a second. Thanks for coming back. We know you've got to get rolling.
Well, thank y'all. Y'all started this off right here in Statesboro, and we never forget that. And I'm going to tell you what, you've been really special to our community and to our fan base, and we appreciate the Group of Five guys.
Love it, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Yes, sir. Guys, like you were talking about it earlier, Jeff. You get bought in when you talk to these guys. And can't thank every coach enough. I mean, that's got to be the first. I'm going to say something. I'm a little bit flustered. That was a bit of a rush. I was. But to get all,
to give some context, we're over here getting set up, getting ready to go live, and we got to talk to Turner about this. One of the kickers completely shanks it. Ray Finkel hits the camera, breaks the cord. We had to rush and get the setup going. But hey, we're still here. We got the spring game getting ready to kick off, and let me tell you, boys, they got some guys. They got some guys out here. Calves look good. Glute checks look good. Sprouse, what are you thinking?
I'm going to be fully transparent here, guys. Some of the recruits were more impressive on the glute and calf check, which is a good thing, because you already have a decent squad and you've got a good program. We'll see. They got a new strength coach as well. So we'll see how they develop this offseason especially.
We know how important those strength coaches are. I mean, they're with the players every single day in the offseason, during the season. So that could be a huge pickup for the Eagles.
Well, can I just open up this thing a little bit with just saying why Statesboro, why Georgia Southern is such a special place for us. So, we started the Twitter account in an October or a November of a season, right? And we were gaining a little bit of traction. We were talking fresh, had a couple hundred followers, and then that spring, my wife and I, we live a few hours from here. We said, hey, let's try to go to the Georgia Southern spring game. Let's try to meet some people. Let's try to interact with some fans. And so we tweet out an announcement that we're going to the spring game, and Sergeant Friedel. I hope he's watching. Unbelievable guy, has since retired and I believe has moved up north. But just sends me a DM and he's like, hey, let's link up. I got something for you. So okay, hey, we'll check it out. So my wife and I and Cam, who was probably a year and a half, not even at the time, we're like, let's make the trip to Statesboro. So we link up with Sergeant Friedel. We end up getting in the freaking hospitality suite up there. Get to meet these guys, William from the Southern Exchange store, get to meet Terry Harvin and all these people, all their families. And just to, I always talk about relationships and hospitality. And to me, when you show that hospitality, when there's literally no gain, right? There's no incentive to do it. They're not gaining anything at that point. We're nobody. And to invite me and my family there, and then every year that we've come back, and then we get the chance to meet Josh and Lenny and the Bevels, and we've been freaking just welcomed, red carpet rolled out, and every year it gets a little better, right? This is the first time we've gotten Coach Helton to come on,
Yeah.
And you go back when Coach Lunsford was here, and him and Jeep Wade came on the show.
Yeah.
Some of our first guests.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a, Statesboro is a small town, but let me tell you something. When you come here, and these small college towns, man, to me, this is college football.
This is it. This is 100% it, where the town is completely bought in. We're staying downtown Statesboro. You go to every shop, every restaurant, every department store. There's Eagle stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Decanters, mugs, T-shirts, merch. Like, they do it right here in Statesboro, and that's why it's such a special place.
Well, what do you guys think? You've been here, 12 hours, 20 hours. Tip, you've been here
3
about
hours.
3 hours, running on fumes. What do you think so far? Jeff, how was Bull and Barrel? Tell me about it.
So me and my wife got in, Scarlett, yesterday afternoon, and had a great dinner at the Bull and Barrel. I had the Cajun ribeye, had a Cajun cream sauce with some crawfish on top, loaded baked potato, had these Brussels sprouts as the appetizer. Absolutely phenomenal. She had the salmon. Looked incredible as well with like a street corn underneath.
Oh.
Just a phenomenal place to eat. If you come to Statesboro for a game, you got to go check out the Bull and Barrel. And we're staying in a loft, an apartment right above it. It's just such a cool town. I love these small towns. It's one of the reasons why I love Murfreesboro, because you have the downtown square. They have Main Street. It's got all these shops. They had live music and a stage last night. Went to a couple of different spots last night. Eagle Creek Brewing Company. As the game kicks off, there we go, a little screen out to the wide, first down. But just an awesome town. This is the quintessential college football town, in my opinion.
100%.
And there's some other ones too. I'm not saying it's the only one, but like Statesboro is a cool spot.
You had me at live music.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing too. You drive through campus today, right? And there's a softball game today. They have some kind of an art fair, craft fair. They got kids all around campus today. It's just. The community, yeah, exactly. It's bought in, and it's surrounded, and all these events are surrounded on this spring game, and then you follow it up with the Gata Jam tonight, which is quite possibly the most unique approach to NIL that we've seen.
It's so smart, right? You got a guy that went to Georgia Southern and Cole Swindell. He loves the program. He loves the university. So, hey, as the NIL collective, Eagle Nation, let's reach out. Let's set up a concert. It makes so much sense for everybody. And the fact that a guy like Cole Swindell, who's a huge star, doesn't forget his roots, doesn't forget where he came from.
Wide open.
Big bomb down the sideline.
Oh, we're going to score here, boys.
Find it. Get up. That's Derwin Burgess right there with a big catch down to, looks like about the 22-yard line.
Hey, by the way, guys, are these headphones working? I'm going to switch over if that's all right. I'm having a.
But yeah, no, it just makes so much sense for the collective to do that. So he gets some of his buddies to open up for him. They're doing a huge concert right after the spring game. So you get to go to the spring game, have a great atmosphere here, get to watch the team play. You can hang out. You can go grab lunch at Nat's Landing or one of these other places. And then you go over to the Gata Jam, which is right over there. It's going to be a huge concert. And all that, and that money goes to the NIL collective here.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of places that can do that, especially not at the Group of 5 level, because let's face it, most of these guys that graduate from the Group of 5 schools and they become stars, they end up being celebrity guest pickers, for the local Power 5 school.
That's a great
catch right there.
And Cole Swindell is one that he absolutely rides.
He
for
does.
Georgia Southern. He's active on social media, defending coaches, defending players, getting after it. And that's what you need. You need engagement like that from fans.
You do. And you got to have those guys, those celebrities, if you have them at your school, to use their platform,
That's right.
And it just comes back to having pride in your school. Place that, you went to school, you got your degree, you met possibly your spouse, some of your best friends. We got a touchdown here.
Got it.
Great run off the right side. O.J. Arnold, he's a damn good
He's
back
a good
now.
player, 100%.
He split time last year, but I almost think that he's an incredible athlete.
Yeah, and they bring the running back room is going to be really good this year, and we talked about it. Shout out also to Josh Bevel, Water Hose Drinkers. We got on his show this morning.
Yeah, and we're going to get him on here in a little bit.
Yeah, and so the running back room is good. The wide receiver room, you lose the number one guy, but you bring back a pretty good room. The question right now is the offensive line and the quarterback.
Yeah, which, I mean, on that drive, they moved right down the field, put it in for a touchdown, and we talked about that too, was getting into the red zone last year, this team struggled getting touchdowns. You've got to get touchdowns when you have good drives. You got to finish them. So if they can do that, and with all the experience they're returning on defense, Tip, I mean, this defense could be big time now.
Right, yeah, exactly. And we mentioned that earlier when we talked to the defensive coordinator. It's so huge to have that much experience and talent come back on the defensive side of the ball, especially with how college football is right now and the landscape of it with NIL and the transfer portal and everything like that. But I just want to point out real quick, I just saw Tyler Fromm, the transfer tight end from Auburn. He is all of 6'5". He looks taller than 6'5". To be honest, oh my gosh.
That could be a game changer for your offense.
Look at that, yes.
I mean,
100%.
If you have a tight end like that can run and go get it and make big plays for your quarterback, especially in high-pressure situations, that moves the chains. That gets you those 7 points when you drive all the way down the field and don't stall. Like that could be the difference. One player like that, especially at a school like Georgia Southern, could be the difference between 6 wins and 8 wins.
100%. Well, and we were talking about it before the show, right? We talk about this Sun Belt Conference and how balanced it is and how competitive it is top to bottom. And then you also talk about having a young quarterback, and you also talk about a spread offense that struggles in the red zone. The fix for all that is a good tight end.
Yeah.
It's a safe go. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, tight end. Inside the 10, tight end. And the guy's size looks like he can block too, so he's available for the run game.
Here we go. We got Dexter Williams now at quarterback. Nice little screen out wide.
But
moving the chains though. These offenses, both sides.
Both are. Well, but when you look at that, Jeff, and you talk about the difference between a couple of wins, it's like nobody in this Sun Belt Conference is gonna win every game.
No.
Right? I mean, even Troy the last couple of years has had a loss. And so when you look at these rosters, you look at having a good tight end and, taking a field goal, you get inside the 10 and you got to kick a field goal versus getting a touchdown. I mean, that's the difference in those 2 or 3 wins. And that's the difference in playing for a conference championship.
Right, yeah, and Murph has mentioned this before, but when you have a tight end that could be a game changer like that, especially with the way Georgia Southern's offense is and how they spread the ball so much from side to side, that's when you get those mismatches with the tight end on the inside in the middle of the field, essentially. You're having to bring in that nickel safety or someone that is a smaller safety or defensive back to try and guard a 6'5", 240-pound tight end over the middle of the field. It's a mismatch every single time.
Well, and for what it's worth, also at this level, when you look at a guy that's 240 pounds, typically in the group of 5, that's 240. That's your D end. So your linebackers that are going to be covering the tight end are going to be a lot smaller than that.
Yeah,
especially shorter.
Exactly. Yeah, and then like Tip alluded to, I mean, it's just such a mismatch. You put a linebacker on him, he's too fast. You put a DB on him, he's too small. So you really can't win. And then if you're dedicating that much time to the tight end, now you have a soft box. That's where O.J. Arnold gets off. That's where the running back room can really come into play.
That's where this offense is just so dangerous, and you just give what the defense gives you, right?
Yeah, take what they give you.
Exactly.
And that's what Coach Appan.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
That's a bust by the defense.
Yeah.
You got a corner blitz, and the safety doesn't roll over the top. But that's great recognition by Dexter Williams right
100%.
now.
Well, and you see the throw, just throw it out there.
Yes.
Don't miss those. You only get those a couple times a game where a guy's just wide open because the defense busts, or you run a double move. Don't miss those guys. Make sure that you hit on those. So great job by Dexter Williams. But, yeah, I mean, Georgia Southern has everything to be a big-time program in the Sun Belt, and they have been. They've competed, but it's like they just haven't been able to get there. So if they can, if this defense can really do a good job at stopping the opposing offenses in the Sun Belt, and this offense can be efficient and not, have short drives, 3 and outs that keeps the defense on there for so long, they got a chance.
Well, and, we've been talking about it, and I feel like I've been talking about it ad nauseum, but, the expectations are high here. They won a bunch of championships at the FCS level. They came into the Sun Belt and immediately kept winning. Then Coach Lunsford moves on, and you bring in Coach Helton, and he changes the entire offense. And nobody thinks they're going to do anything in that first year. And they bring in Kyle Van Treese, and they overachieve, in my opinion. And then, so everybody thinks, oh, well, now that's the floor.
That's the bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's the bar. So now we're going to raise it again. But now Van Treese is gone, so now you got to bring in another guy from the portal, and you bring in Davis Brin, who at times looked really good, and he was a great player at Tulsa. And then you kind of, the expectations were higher. You didn't exceed. You stayed about the same. So I do think now the expectations have been tempered just a little bit. Yeah. And I think the fans will be a little bit more realistic here in year 3. And I think, we talked to Coach Appan about it. Now you get to have your 3 quarterbacks decide, develop, coach.
They compete. They get better. And here's the other thing, too, is I don't think people really understand.
That's
nice
wow.
Unbelievable ball.
Bad snap, rolls a snap, he picks it up, stays poised,
Yep.
in a high-pressure situation, just throws a nice back shoulder. I couldn't see the number of the receiver, but, you have a situation where you're changing from a wing tee triple option.
That was number 89, Taylor Bradshaw.
Great catch. Great adjustment on that throw.
Yep.
That offense changing from a triple option wing tee to a complete spread, that is such a difficult roster change and ask by those guys, right? And the fact that they've done so well making that change is just a testament to this coaching staff.
That's it. And especially in this era of the portal, right?
Yeah.
So, you're able to go get a quarterback, but you also got to think, right? An offensive lineman that you recruit to run the option is not the offensive lineman.
No, it is not.
That you recruit to get in a 2-point stance and pass block.
Yeah, or get out in space on screens.
Right. And so you're having to flip every single position. And you got to think about the defense too, because now your 3 and out might only take 20 seconds off the clock.
Exactly.
Where before you could get a drive that goes 6, 7, 8 minutes. And so you got to think about all of these things, and I think it's something that not everybody thinks about because everybody's concerned with the quarterback or the skill positions, and so you don't think about flipping the offensive line, flipping the defense. And it's a big change, and again, to win, to be bowl eligible both years is impressive.
Yeah.
I want to say something real quick, and this is just my initial reaction of the spring game so far, and this is not a knock on the defense at all. But this offense looks really good so far. This reminds me a lot of when we went to that Troy spring game, how elite that defense looked, and we were just like, we had the question, is Troy's offense bad, or is their defense just that good, and they won the conference that year? I'm just saying.
And their defense was
elite. Their defense was
historically
that good.
great. Yeah.
So you got, both is 7-7 right now. Both offensive went down the field, and scored on big plays too, I might add, which is huge. So is it the offenses just being really good, or is it the defense not so much? I don't know.
Well, look, and
it's a spring game too.
That's right. And the defense is not doing everything that they would do. Yeah. They're not going to bring all the pressure.
Well, I think I just kind of called my shot. I think they're going to win the Sun Belt this year.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what I just?
Careful.
Well, you mentioned the Sun Belt. I mean
the
we
East
get
is
into
kind
the schedule a little bit for Georgia Southern.
I honestly think the East, I would say minus App State, is pretty wide open with the amount of changes that have gone on with a lot of those teams.
I mean, I think you can include App State in that being wide open. I mean, the East is. Last year, it was sort of like the opposite. Everybody was kind of, thinking the West. I think the West has taken over as the favorite year after year. It seems like when you look at a Troy, and now you're looking at what Texas State should be.
Yeah.
But now the East.
It's just like last year was just like well, you had James Madison up there, right? But with the amount of changes they have, you just don't know if they're going to be as good as they were.
Ball.
Another big play.
Great ball. Got some pressure. Roll. I can't see his number. Who's that? Number 10?
Yeah, 10. What quarterback is that?
David Dallas.
So they've gone three drives, three different quarterbacks, and so far they've all three moved it right down the field.
Oh, you got a penalty. Oh, that's tragic. He does a great job. He gets pressure off his backside, rolls out right, throws a nice curl route. And who was that? Cobb who caught it and turned it into like a 30-yard game. But per usual, offensive line gets beat, so he grabs the guy.
Well, so here's the thing, Jeff. This is when we talk about you can't look at the stats, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because this quarterback just went from
he did.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it won't be on the stat sheet. And now he's got 3rd and 20.
Yep.
So now if he throws an interception or has an incompletion, it's like, well, yeah, it was 3rd and 20. It wasn't a realistic play. He was put in a negative position, and now they got to run the ball and punt.
Yeah.
So while we're sitting here saying all 3 quarterbacks went right down the field, and he didn't,
can't discount that.
It wasn't
great
necessarily
play.
on him by any means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where, that's where the film comes into play, and this is a decision that I have a feeling is going to roll through camp.
There's no
to
question.
be quite honest with you. Hopefully all 3 of them hang around too. That's something you got to look at too. Or if they don't think that one is the guy, do they look at the portal? I don't think so. I think they're kind of done with that model.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they've tried it and they had success in the first year. They had mild success last year, but you got 3 guys that look completely capable. I know we've just seen 3 drives, but
I know we can't. Can I pause you?
Yeah.
We have people sledding down a hill right here.
Oh, this is great.
We can't. I don't think we can get the camera on it. Oh no, this could be bad, guys. Oh no.
Oh, she's got it. A little bit.
I tell you, they have a
Just
good
great
time here. But
atmosphere.
anyway, sorry, Jeff, I interrupted you. That was
No, you're good. I was like, I don't want to count my chickens. We've just seen 3 drives, but all have done great things. Not panicked in pressure situations where you got, defensive end coming off the end or a bad snap. Like they've all kept their poise and made plays. So, that's the key. Is this quarter? Who's this quarterback?
Who is this? 12.
J.C. French.
That's French, yeah.
So he's another one that's been in the battle.
He's been in the mix.
Is he on the first drive? Wasn't
He started on the first drive. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now they're staying ahead of the chains, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, so and here's a big portion of this too. So they're returning 4 out of 5 offensive linemen.
Yep.
So that's key. And then they return Jalen White at running back. And then they got
Arnold.
And then they got the other kid, O.J. Arnold. So the run game, if they can establish that, it's going to help. It's going to help whichever quarterback becomes the guy.
Yeah.
It's a smart play too.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
wasn't there?
Don't take the turnovers, throw it away, man.
Yep. Try and run a tunnel screen. It's not there. Defense read it perfectly. Just don't make a bad play call worse. That's a lot of times with quarterbacks. You're not always going to be in the perfect play. Don't make it worse by turning it over. Like that it kills momentum, gives
Next play.
extra possessions to the other team. You just can't do it. That's such a huge part of this.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this schedule really quick. I mean, they got a week 1 opener, boy, and the Broncos of Boise State.
Who's that?
Coming into
Boise
Statesboro.
State. Yeah.
Now listen, I'll say
Huge
this.
game.
I will say this: if they're smart, if Georgia Southern wants an advantage, you put that game at noon, which would be 9 a.m. Boise State time, or 10 a.m.
9 or 10. Yeah.
Boise State time. You put that game, it's going to be really hot. This place will be rocking.
Especially being the opener.
It's a far travel, for Boise State. So they go Boise State, but then now Georgia Southern's got to go across the country and go at Nevada.
Yeah, which Nevada, I mean,
it's a tough spot.
they've had a tough go at the last couple of years, but like you said, that travel, I mean, it is the Mountain West. They got players. They just haven't been able to put it together over in Nevada. So.
Yeah. Well, and then they got South Carolina State at home. Then they go at Ole Miss. This is where it gets tough for them. Okay, they go at Ole Miss, at Georgia State, home versus Marshall, home versus James Madison, at Old Dominion, at South Alabama, home versus Troy, at Coastal, home versus App.
I will say this though, it's a gauntlet. It's good. It is a gauntlet.
They do get most of them
at
home.
It's good to have those big games at home. They were 5-1 at home last year.
That's
1-5 on the road. To have those games here at home is huge.
Yeah.
And I say it's a gauntlet. Hell, every Sunday schedule is a damn gauntlet.
Well, that's it. And you literally look at that right now after that Ole Miss game.
November is when you'll know.
You
right
look
there.
at every single game right there. Okay, and if you were to look at them individually and don't look at who the other one played the week before, you could make it a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Either they could win, they could lose. So it's like theoretically, they could be like a 2 or 3 win team, but theoretically they could be an 8 or 9 win team.
And there could be a chance that you have maybe App State, Coastal Carolina, and Georgia Southern all in contention for the East in late November.
In those last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly
It
right.
doesn't get much better than Sun Belt football in November.
No,
down the stretch. I mean, every game is so important.
Well, and especially when you get when you think you got it figured out, and then somebody upsets somebody, and it messes it all up, brings everybody back.
I do
want
want to bring this up real quick. Lupe in the live chat shouts us out for our coverage of the Group of 5. He wants to know Texas State, San Antonio, and San Marcos. He's saying we need to go. Saying we need to go to that game.
Lupe, tell these two, because I've been saying it for 2 months.
No, I want to go. I want to go. I mean, that seems like it can't miss.
That's week 2?
I think so. And that's going to be a hell of a
huge
game.
that's
Take back Texas.
That's a big
battle
non-conference Group of 5.
Oh yeah.
State
of Texas rivalry.
State of Texas. Yep. That's 100%. 2 similar coaches coming from the high school ranks. That's a big
Lupe,
deal.
we hadn't finalized our schedule yet for the fall, but that's definitely
we got it
big
penciled.
on the radar.
It's penciled, yeah.
It's big on the radar for sure.
So
nice ball, nice catch.
Let's talk Gata Jam for a little bit before we get out of here, guys.
Live music, huh? I'm in.
Tip.
That's the only reason why I came down here, Tip. Jam band.
I gotta tell you, man, you're what they call a primal for doing what this guy woke up.
Incredible.
Did you go to sleep?
I did, yeah. I did go to sleep. Yeah.
About 2 hours.
Well, so if you don't know Tip, then he's a night guy. Jeff and I are more so the let's go to bed, but we'll be up at 5 or 6 in the morning. Tip wants to be up till 2, 3 a.m. and then sleep. This guy, what time did you go to bed?
I actually went to bed at around 9 o'clock Central
Look at
Time.
You. Oh my God, you probably got more sleep.
Had
than
an
you've
alarm
ever
set for I think 2:15. Woke up at 1:30. Couldn't go back to sleep. I said, "We're hitting the road.
Let's do it.
Let's go."
He was so excited. He was anxious. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get there. And you're here, and you're going to try your damnedest to stick it out until midnight tonight when this concert ends. Well, so I mean, they have this Gata Jam, and I mean, from a standpoint of, think about this. Think about how much easier it is versus asking a couple millionaires for a big donation, or just get anybody and everybody to come to a Cole Swindell concert and pay $50.
It just makes so much sense. It makes so much sense on every side. Cole Swindell benefits, the university benefits, athletics benefit. It's crazy to think that people care about a program in a university and they're just going to work together. It's mind-blowing because I've seen it for so many years at so many different places, specifically one of, just call it out, alma mater.
Another place with a borough at the end?
Just, it seems like nobody's on the same page. So it's exciting to see when people do it right and what you can gain from it. It's awesome.
Aren't they kind of known for their music programs? And,
that other school you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a heck of a
big
time.
catch.
Man.
Is that tight
That's
end?
from. Yeah,
Boom.
he's a big kid,
There
man.
it is.
Nice little curl route right over the center. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem.
For real,
I'm telling
yeah.
you. Big body kid.
He's
athletic. He can move. He ain't stiff. Kid can bend, Sprouse.
Let's watch this here. Got him out in the slot
Got him out
right
in the
there.
slot,
Yeah, this is where you're going to see his speed and his athleticism a
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
put him on a safety, bigger than the safety. Just body him
Little
up.
let's
Use
see a
that
little
frame.
Yeah, let's see a little corner route action.
What do you guys think about
Bring him to the
the
outside.
spring game crowd here? It's not bad.
It's not
It's
bad.
hot, boy.
It
Yeah.
is. Well, you see all the people. They're up underneath the overhang over there near the beer garden.
And I think too, most of these people are probably going to the concert. It's going to be a long day. So you sit out in the sun and it wears you out.
That's what I
bit.
think it could end up being. It's like people want to come. They're going to make an appearance. They'll be here for the first couple of drives or whatever.
Check out
Then they got to go get ready for Gata Jam
That's
tonight.
right. That's it.
So we got Cole Swindell. He's got some openers. Rhett Atkins, right?
John Langston and Mackenzie Carpenter.
Yeah, should be a great lineup.
It's going to be a heck of a time, man.
What's awesome is I know Cole Swindell is super passionate about this university and the football program, but
credit to him.
But how awesome do you think he feels that the university is reaching out to him and wants him? Like I'm talking about that, using that as an example for other universities.
We're under attack.
We are. You see how I just
that was good.
Went
that was
through
really
that.
Good. Yeah. You're a pro, dude.
No, but just using that as an example, for other universities, is like if you have an alma mater that is, not just in music, but in anything.
Yeah.
How great do you think it feels for those guys and girls for the university that they graduated from to reach out to them, and ask them to make an appearance. And I don't know,
That's it. Well, it doesn't have to be a concert. You're right. Like any event, you can get
Right.
people to buy tickets for.
Yeah.
He ran right past that linebacker, by the way. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did. Corner route, too.
I did. Yep.
Nice call, Tip.
But
Yeah.
wasn't there. I think they had pressure on it.
It's been a great weekend. We're halfway
we're just
through
getting
the
started.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Been a great 3.5 hours.
And we'll be
so,
we'll be live on Tuesday.
We live on Tuesday,
Doing
so
a whole recap. We're going to finish watching the rest of this spring game. Report back what we see.
what we see.
Players
We'll
that
talk a
stood
little
out.
bit about the QBs and stuff like that, and then we got upcoming interview with Toledo athletic director Brian Blair.
can't wait for
you
that.
You talk about an athletic director that gets it.
Top notch.
That's it. And you look at Toledo as a brand. It's for sure it's the biggest brand in the MAC. It's definitely. I mean, when we talked about our group of 5 blue blood, and they were in the conversation for sure. It's a brand name, and that's across the board, not just for football.
Yep.
So really excited to hear his take on NIL and alignment and all of this stuff, and see where he's at from an AD perspective.
Yeah.
But look, Statesboro, man, Georgia Southern, Coach Helton, Coach Appan, Coach Bailey, Turner, Chris, Brian, everybody, Bevel family. All you
thank you
guys
enough.
helping us out, letting us do this, put our stuff, in the corner of the end zone here. Cannot thank this place enough. Coach Helton said they'll never forget that this was like the first place we did it. We ain't never gonna forget. This is the first place that opened their arms to us. So, with that being said, look, need you to help us. Need you to follow us on all the social platforms at Group of 5 Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Most importantly, man, tell your family and friends all about us, man. If you're a Georgia Southern fan or if you're not, and you're getting ready to play. Look, if you're a Boise State fan and you're getting ready to play Georgia Southern and you don't know anything about it, check us out, man. We'll give you a pretty good breakdown each week on the top games. And we try to talk about everybody. Another big play. A lot of big plays, which I don't imagine
Bradshaw.
the defense.
I tell you what.
We got another flag though.
This receiver room looks good.
Yeah, they really do. Well, let's break down here. Let's get over a little closer view so we can see this thing a little up close. But man, again, can't thank this place enough. Looking forward to the concert tonight. It should be a heck of a time. We'll get some content for y'all to see.
Be a real hoot.
That's all we got. Group of 5 Guys out of here.